I am Feel It.
And I am Fix It. And we talk about life.
And stuff and things.
With the occasional rant.
Which you will have no problem doing.
Hello. Hi there. Good morning. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are, we hope you're having a good one.
Mm-hmm. What he said.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. And that's how we are today.
That's how we are today.
Gotcha.
Bleh.
Yeah. It's been one of those weeks.
It has.
Yeah. Yeah. Hasn't been bad. It just seemed to. It's been heavy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a way to put it.
Yeah. No, it's like I can't put a finger on anything wrong that was happening. Just kind of. But be that as it may.
I mean, yeah. Nothing significant.
No, thankfully, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Not complaining. It's just, I don't know. It's cooled off, but it's still in the 80s.
To 80s and humid.
Yeah, instead of in the 90s and humid, it's in the 80s and humid.
Stormy
and it's,
on and off.
Yep.
Unpleasant.
Get enough rain to make it really humid.
Quite unpleasant, yes.
Yep. Just,
and then
it is what it is.
Functioning after a long weekend away.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
Doesn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of a blah summer week.
Mm-hmm. I can't disagree.
But there was some fun things that we did.
Oh, sure.
I bought our kayaks, and we are going to go tomorrow.
Yep.
I am excited about that. I've only been talking about it for like 2 years. And then I just did it. There was a particular store that I'm not going to say.
Not a sponsor.
That got...
It's also where we got Bob.
Right. Yeah. That had a really good deal on them, and I was comparing them all, and you told me I should stop and look at them, so I did.
Yep. Put your butt in the seat.
And I was like, okay, this will work okay. And then, ordered it online so we could get the better discount.
There's just some stuff you need to...
and then went and picked it up.
You can buy a lot of stuff online, but...
For whatever reason, their online discounts are often better. So that's what I did. I ordered it online, and then we went and picked it up. But yeah, that was fun. And then there was, of course, a lot of the things we ended up getting at Amazon, not a sponsor, because Prime Days.
Yep.
And that meant that everything, like the paddles, the life jackets, the dry bags, all that stuff was a little cheaper. And then even the car or the carrier that you're going to attach to my car.
Yep. Got to do some installation work on that, but...
Yeah, that was exciting. That was a highlight. For me, it's a milestone of enjoying life in a way that I did not think I would be able to. And I've spent 2 years wondering if I ever really would, and how much of not just in my capability, but the comfort. I mean, it's not comfortable to be covered all the time. So even when I would go on walks, oddly fashion had made it so more and more things had hoods. But it's not comfortable when it's 90 degrees outside to wear a hood and try to cover your face. It's just not. So
I see that.
am so amazingly grateful that we found answers, and I'm getting treatments that are actually effective in a way that I can do this. I could tolerate this, I think, without having to cover myself and worry about my face and all of that.
Mhm.
So,
Which is a good thing, which is a very good thing.
trigeminal neuralgia, facial neuralgia, I guess has become the broader diagnosis, but it's no joke. And
Well, didn't they phrase it like idiopathic,
atypical facial nerve
atypical nerve pain? Yeah.
Atypical facial nerve pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't know what caused it, and it's in this general area here.
And it's a lot of your head and your neck and your face.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something I'm looking forward to. We're gonna try it tomorrow because it's not supposed to be stormy and it's supposed to be cooler.
Yep. Go out to a relatively small, low traffic lake, so you can get a feel for how they behave, because you've never. I've never kayaked either.
No.
I've done some canoeing over the years. I know it's different, but you know, so we got to both figure it out.
We are gonna try it.
Yep. So gonna go to the lake, so we don't have to worry about current, and kind of get a feel for stuff.
Yeah, kind of excited about that.
Mm-hmm. As it turns out, I've got a coworker that enjoys kayaking for exercise, but he's more advanced. You know, it's not a kayak you sit in or sit on as much as get strapped into, like old school traditional kayaks. So if you capsize, you have to do an Eskimo row and flip yourself back over using the paddle, and it's like
that'd take me a minute to learn.
Yeah. So you gotta you learn it by halfway drowning yourself trying to figure it out. So
I mean, I'm nervous enough as it is about
this. You're just gonna fall out.
All that. So
yep. Worst case scenario, you tip over, and
which everybody's telling me
your personal flotation device will make sure that you stay.
That doesn't happen that often.
It all comes down to body position. Don't lean. It's kind of like a canoe. It's like you keep your center of gravity centered in the canoe.
I've never been in a canoe, so.
Kind of like riding a bike.
Sure.
You keep your center of gravity over the center line of the thing, and
I wanted to try to do it at least once before I'm laid up again. So, I think we can manage that at least once, maybe twice.
Sure.
For the sake of timing. Because you do want a decent weather day, and that has been few and far between. We've had a lot of stormy days.
Yeah, and hot, which makes it even kind of worse. It's one thing to sweat because you're out there exercising, doing stuff, active, and you're sweating. That's one thing. If you're just sitting still and it's so hot and humid, you're just drenched. Yeah, it's just a miserable place to be, and I don't enjoy it.
And I'm just trying to look forward to it, and tomorrow should work out, and then hopefully at least one more day. Because that's a weekend thing. That's not something I would, at this point, be able to pull off in the middle of the week.
Well, I mean, you probably could, but
not with my schedule.
Yeah, but maybe. Hard to say.
Yeah,
but I don't see it happening.
Not right now.
I mean,
maybe next summer.
Even if I get the rack on your car, I don't think the kayak rack itself, just without the kayaks, just the rack itself, I don't think that'd clear our garage door. So we'd have to take them off in the driveway and then pull in.
It's gonna be a thing. So
it might.
I'll view this like camping, right? It might be a good time, but it's got to be something that's, for me, it's just not often. It's just, there's a lot of work involved.
Oh yeah,
a lot of it. So that's okay. It's fine. There's the distance to get to. Yeah. Because we're at least 20 minutes away from any launch in a river when you're, think I'm ready for that. And now you're telling me the work to get things on and off the car and Yeah, just all that stuff.
I mean, it's.
So
I'm not saying it's not all doable. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, but there's going to be some effort involved.
I get it. That's okay. One downside was that we have found more lumps and bumps on our Dory. So just to say again that there was a cancerous tumor found on her that was tested. And then over last weekend, and then, well, there was just yesterday, we found another one. We don't think they're brand new. It's not like that. They're not appearing quickly like that. It's just we're feeling her differently now.
Well, yeah.
And,
once you notice something, you tend to look. You look for it more, so you're more likely to find stuff.
Yeah. So kind of sad and frustrating there. We'll be taking her in a couple weeks before the scheduled surgery to check her over and have some of those tested so that we'll know for sure how the surgery needs to go. But that's a kind of a sad reality.
Well, and we got to find her a T-shirt.
Yep, we gotta get her a couple T-shirts so that have a snug cover over her. That was the vet's recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
That was
and because of her weird shape and sizing, it's like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to stitch the shirt onto her. It's like we're gonna have to fold it over and sew it into place because there's nothing that fits that dog.
It's adorable.
She is the most disproportionate freaking thing.
And she's
like I said before, her neck is bigger than her head. So if she turns around, her collar slides off because she's just tapered. From shoulder to nose. It's just a long taper.
With us right now. We have guests here, our daughter's friends, and they're gaming in the house, and she followed us in here, so she's laying down, taking a nap right now. Probably because it's quiet and safe.
It's much quieter. Yeah, that is one thing.
Though she loves them.
Yes. Well, she was very excited when they got here.
And last weekend was pretty successful for our venture.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of things taken care of.
Yes, we did.
Bittersweet. I mean, we might go up there one more time, depending on how the plans roll out. But that was so awful. The traffic coming home was just so awful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, going up was bad enough.
Yeah, well...
But holy cow. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what we've avoided all these years.
Yes. We've intentionally not done the trip on the 4th.
And if I thought about it, as I was while I was driving it up on last Thursday night before the 4th, we had a whole different route. We didn't... A lot of the years that we've lived down here were like the back roads route to take 66 up to my parents.
Yeah.
So we weren't on the freeway.
Nope.
We were not experiencing that insanity.
Well, and 60... Okay, in that case, it was, in a way, shorter. It's slower, but shorter. But it came up to be...
all that.
It was the same amount of time.
Yeah, it wasn't all that.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't tell you the last time I was on a freeway on a holiday weekend going north.
No, it's been a while.
It had been a long, long while. Because once we discovered 66, that became the go-to.
Yep.
And then if we had, it was 127 or 75. Mm-hmm. But not 131. 131, different beast.
Yes.
And now we've done it.
Mm-hmm.
And, that... Mm-hmm.
Well,
that would have only been done with a very special purpose. That was silliness.
Coming south, we were stopped in traffic, and I glanced over, and it said toll booth a half mile ahead.
Yeah.
So that was quite the backup.
Yeah, that was silliness.
And they had all toll lanes open.
Yeah.
In both directions. The backup was basically the bridge coming north.
Going up, there was so many stops at, kind of key locations that it slowed us way down. I was sad to not see the sunset from the bridge as I was kind of hoping.
Yeah,
would have made it worth
10 minutes. It was 10 minutes of construction stoppages.
At least. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, we were...
Oh, the one was a solid 10
no,
minutes.
I mean, when we got to the bridge, we missed the sunset by 10 minutes.
Oh. Well, yeah, no, I thought you meant the backups. Anyway.
No, the backups were very much longer
because
than
if you have never seen a sunset from Mackinac Bridge, it is beautiful. It is a sight to see.
Yes, it is. Little plug for, pure Michigan.
It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Like I said, bittersweet. It'll be bittersweet to not have to go up there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a long drive. But most of it is very nice. And
oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Kind of one of those.
I mean,
when there's not a purpose anymore. I mean, there is no other purpose. Visiting my aunt was the purpose.
That was pretty much it.
I am decades past tourist up there. Like I've been to the things and done the stuff, and then we took our kids to the museums when they were younger, and had a camping adventure up there with them, and like I'm way past.
Yeah,
that.
We did the lighthouse tour, and we've hit Tequamanon a number of times, and Kitchimikippi, and
those are all outside of Sault Ste. Marie. I just know Sault Ste. Marie specifically, but the UP,
the whole UP itself.
Yeah,
it's like
decades.
We've been from
decades.
Effectively St. Ignace to
Ontonagon.
Yeah.
Or Copper Harbor, all the way up.
All the way up to Copper Harbor. Yep.
Yeah. I say the furthest over was Ontonagon, which is past that Keweenaw Peninsula, but
it's gorgeous up there.
There are some things we have not seen.
Yeah, you fill up when you get the opportunity, not when you have the need, because you never know.
Right. Escanaba. That's one thing that we never went back around that camping loop that year that we went with our friends to see Escanaba. So that's one thing that you said you'd like to do, and we could certainly do that.
Yep.
But as far as Sault Ste. Marie, there would not be a purpose.
Yeah, we've done that. Been there, done that.
And that to me is special. Like just that trip has been very special. And the only oddly, when we got Dory just before COVID, we got her in December 2019. For quite some time, that was the only trip she took with us because our aunt welcomed us to come and see her and stay with her. And for quite a while, I mean, locally we would go around to parks and things and go for lots of walks. But as far as like long trips, long car rides, we learned Dory's behaviors through trips up to Sault Ste. Marie.
She stays very excited for a very long time.
She loves the car.
Yeah.
But she also knows that trip. Mm-hmm. She knows. She knows.
Oh, yeah. She gets very excited when she sees us pack.
It's adorable. And that was kind of a funny thing, to watch her like go up on the ledges and look out the windows at my aunt's home. And we have lots of pictures of that. It's kind of funny. She, so for a long time, that was the only other place she went to. But, so coming back to work and reality and stuff, it was just kind of a weird week. I think it was a weird week for us, or a lot of my clients, kind of that weird midsummer thing. I got different parents talking about school coming back, and some of my adolescent clients talking about it too, some of those stresses and worries. And it's sad, like they're in sports, then they're like conditioning in some way all summer, but like the pressure and stress, band, football, like it's lacrosse. I mean, I'm hearing it. It's like, man, when is actual summer for kids now? I don't even know.
Parents have ruined it.
I don't think it's real.
Have absolutely freaking ruined it.
There might be the vacation like immediately in June after school gets out, but otherwise it's like, all business.
No, it's like, because none of that crap matters. Not one bit of it matters.
I have one client who's lacrosse, and
I mean, it's fun, and if you enjoy it, that's great. And a small percentage of people will get scholarships because of it, but 99% of the people in like marching band and jazz band and orchestra and football, marching band and football and soccer and baseball, they'll graduate high school and never pick it up again.
We do have two band nerds in our home right now visiting. They would tell you.
Yeah,
they never picked it up again.
And this is, like I said, it's a small percentage of people that actually continue doing anything related to that.
And I don't want to go too far down this
like,
hole because I know we need to have a topic.
You're kind of robbing kids of just
We could
relaxing.
certainly talk. Is that what we want to talk about?
No,
Do we want to go there and
mean,
save the topic for next week? I mean, we could keep going with this if you'd like.
No, I mean, it just... The parents are always stressed out, but so they stress their kids out. It's like, once you graduate and even if you go to college, it's still not quite reality. And then you get out and you have to work for a living, and you got to dedicate so much of your time and your energy, and there is no summer vacation. You're not off for 3 months.
No.
So it's like, why are you stressing your kids out now? This is the only time in their life where they don't have to be stressed out.
I do have one young lady, it's newer to me, that she's in lacrosse, and she's going to be a senior, and she already had her college scholarship offer lined up in her sophomore year. So good for her. I mean, she is that good. But in her summer months, she's joined a club. So it's like hardcore for this young lady, like very much. But it's the discussions to have with her about those stresses and why it's like this weird affect to her high school career and considering the end of it's coming but the end of lacrosse ain't coming, because then you've got to keep on keeping on so that you can do it in college. And what does that mean to try to enjoy life and school and balance? And yeah,
and you don't.
But it's kind of my fault. I opened the door a little bit. First I had one client say something to me who is a teacher, and she was going to be going back, and it was just, how would the schedule potentially adjust? And I had said, I'm already prepared for that. More of my evenings will open back up, because I kind of shut some of that down to actually have evenings off in the summer. But then I'd start earlier in the day. So Well, then when I had to start saying, okay, I'm going to be having surgery and give notice. So I started telling clients this week, that means if I'm out the last 2 weeks in August, then I gotta prepare those clients that it's going to matter to now. So then I sat down and I looked at it, and then I had, a few, 3, 4 that I was going to have to say something to, like, yep, this is what's going on. And this is what I'd like to propose for your, switch over in the school year. And then ironically, there was a couple of other parents that kind of said something about changes before that because of sports and camps and stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, just let me take a look and see what I can do, because I've only got so many hours in August. There's just, I will have 2 weeks off, except for my more severe clients. They could certainly reach out if they absolutely need to the second week, not the week of the surgery. I made that clear. But the second week we could, they could touch base if they absolutely need to.
Yeah, it's like, you need to prioritize self-care, and so do other people, and you have to accommodate for that.
Yes. Yeah. I should not counsel drugged. But it was just one of those, it would be incredibly entertaining.
I shouldn't say this, but I'm high as a kite, so.
They may or may not like it. But it was just kind of one of those weird, I've experienced it before because I've been doing this for a couple of years already, but it just never ceases to amaze me. It's July, and these aren't vacations that are typically coming up for my clients, especially my students. It's sports or something more academic, something very, not summer vacation oriented. Anyway. I know the back to school thing seems to happen July 5th, and
which is,
I get it. I do get it.
I mean, I get, if you're on a budget and you got to do things little bites at a time, so you got to start planning stuff out. I understand. Been there, done that. Grew up like that. But
I remember when Walmart was the only option.
But
for us.
don't,
not a sponsor.
It's like there's something to be said for just letting kids be kids and let's. I've had this fight with people. Fight. Argument.
Oh.
I'm personally of the belief that there's no such thing as sports that are necessary.
Okay. You mean that it should be all for entertainment?
Yeah. Yeah, you should do
Sure.
it because you enjoy it. Because it's fun.
Then there wouldn't be scholarships.
Exactly. And the only reason there's scholarships is because the schools make a crap ton of money off of it.
Are we going to keep going on this, or did you actually...
It's just...
it's how far am I supposed to let you go down the rabbit hole?
The owners... The only people really benefiting from sports are the people who own the jerseys. The people playing the game, it's like professionals make money, but they make a pittance compared to what the team owners get.
That's fair.
Same thing with the colleges.
It's a whole lot of...
Yeah, but...
It's a whole lot to what you're saying right now.
Yeah, but it's a game. And anytime you make it bigger than a game, if you're not enjoying playing it, if you're completely stressed out and you're blowing your... Like, how many professional athletes out there, they can't walk. Their spines are fused. It's like they can't remember something from 5 minutes ago because they've been hitting the head so many dang times. It's like, yeah, well, was it worth it? You took it to the point where it was no longer a game. It was a profession, and now you can't, you're all jacked up for the rest of your life. Like, was it worth it? It's like...
I think that's a whole episode.
Entirely, yes. I would say that's entirely possible.
It's about value, and it's about dedication and all the things that go along with that. Like the people live, eat, breathe, like this young lady I mentioned.
Hi, Dory. Yeah, well, and
like that's been her thing for a very, very long time, and that is a passion, but it's the cost of the passion.
But at some
that's part of the discussion is the cost of the passion.
Well, at some point, she's most likely going to get to the realization that all of that effort didn't mean anything other than what she... I'm not saying, like, organized sports have a benefit, teamwork and problem solving, and you find out what your own physical and mental limitations are, and strategy, and there's like a million things that you learn in the process other than the sport, which I'm not demeaning those in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of benefit to things like that. Like the Pee-wee leagues and all of that fun stuff. Kids learn how to interact with other people that they might not necessarily normally hang out with. There's a lot of benefit in that, but at some point it gets to a point where it's no longer that. And you look back, it's like I beat myself up and screwed myself out of all this free time and fun and time with friends and family, so that somebody else could make a dime off of me blowing my knees out.
Are we going down I gotta ask one more time because
I've said multiple
I was just
times.
trying to talk about like busyness and I've been trying to get away from this for a couple minutes. So if this is where you want to keep going, I will actually respond to you.
Yeah, too many times as just people, we make ourselves ridiculously busy with things that don't matter, and we miss out on the things that do.
I can agree.
Because we filled our schedule up with
I can most certainly agree because I counsel people of all ages from that point of view. But again, I'm going to ask you, which you haven't answered me. Are we going to keep going on this? But then you keep going. So I'm trying to stop, but you're like you just keep coming at it.
It's not, it's not completely unrelated, at least in part, in concept. So there's that.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
And she's down again. Okay. The dog, she's stretched out again. She's really cute when she does that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I mean, seriously. Everybody that has a pet, they know.
Yes.
There's that position they get in that's just so cute. I know I
probably sound terrible cutting them off the way I do, but it's definitely a squirrel tangent and a half. And I could definitely continue to respond to you, but I didn't know if you wanted me to, or if you do want to get to the topic you chose. But if you found a correlation to the topic you chose, we can certainly come back around to it if that's what you want.
In a manner of speaking.
Because I could talk for a very long time about parents that are missing the boat.
I don't think it's just parents.
Or children that are not just parents. Yeah, there's a whole lot to it. Children that are pressured and misguided and they are going to build a lot of their priority around coaches and parents.
Yeah.
And
Well, very,
friends
very
and,
skewed priorities, but and they don't realize how skewed they are until they're no longer a part of it.
And high school is really hard because when you're looking at, hey, my college could be paid if I keep playing the sport. Well, that means you do have to sell out to it, and you do have to beat yourself up, and you do have to blow out those knees, and you do have to give up. And that is what my point was.
Yes.
With my that particular
client. Everything.
It's a reality of something that a 16, 17, 18-year-old even is not going to be able to wrap their heads around.
No.
But yet they're doing it.
Well, and everything has a price. And I'm not, it doesn't matter what it is. Everything has a price.
Yes. It's,
but it's
how well was this price explained?
Some things are just really expensive.
And not just
and there isn't a lot of reason for it.
Not just in money.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Just saying.
Okay.
So. Anyway.
Squirrel.
Well, okay, a little bit of a squirrel, a little bit of a, just kind of is.
So you have your go off, yeah.
Well, sure.
Sure.
I'm starting to, I woke up at like 4:30 this morning, and I couldn't get back to sleep. So, I'm kind of it's 12 hours. Right here is 12 hours. So,
okay. I get it.
A little, how that goes.
Sure do.
And if you don't, I envy you. But, it was, all right, this in and of itself just got me thinking about, it made me think about things other than what it's directly saying. So kind of a prompt of thought. But
it's just somebody's rando post.
Yeah, somebody's rando post, but it made, I was thinking, it made me think. Anyway, so I have no idea who Fairy Cosmos is on X, but
I mean, we'll give you credit.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely give you credit.
And this is just days before COVID was globally announced.
Yeah, March 11th, 2020. Those are the days. Anyway, just found out that if I stay in my room all the time, my life will eventually shrink to the size of it, and I'll lose all memory of how to function as a person. I'm shocked and upset. And then they made the entire planet stay in their room, and their worlds shrunk, and they forgot how to deal with people.
Which it might have even been this day. Let me double check that while you talk.
Okay. Oh, well, that made me think of, we've got friends and family, and there's things going on in their lives, and in part because of the lockdowns, their lives were shrunk to the four walls of their home.
No, it was the 12th or the 13th.
And the people that were in it.
So literally
days.
Within a couple days.
Yeah. And then once the lockdowns were over, they were holed up for so long that they no longer know how to. The people that walked out the other side of the lockdowns were not the people that were in there when they were locked
And we have talked about this before. It's my family. We have.
Sure.
And we've known a lot of people.
Yes.
That this has happened to, but specifically some members of my family.
Well, and
like they're not even trying.
No. It's very. Very
strange.
Really not going to get into specifics because it's not helpful. We can't get into it. It's just too much. Anyway, but we've alluded to some of it. But it got me thinking. It's more. It goes in multiple directions. It's not just your world shrinks. If you think about it, like you have a goldfish, and not a feeder goldfish, a good quality goldfish, the kind that can live for a really long time. It theoretically can grow however big it needs to, or however big it can, depending on the size of the tank you put it in. It'll grow based on its environment. You put it in You put it in a fish bowl, it's only going to get so big. It's going to be like 2 inches long, and that's as big as it's ever going to get because it doesn't have the room to grow. And then you could take that same little fish and you drop it into a 5-gallon tank, and given ample food, it's going to keep growing. It's going to get bigger, and it's going to hit a size where it kind of plateaus and stays there because that's how big it can be in that tank. And you put it in a 100-gallon tank and give it time and give it the food and give it what it needs to grow, and it can grow into a larger fish. People are the same way. If you think about it, it's more figurative growth, but that's what learning is.
It's true.
You put yourself into a position where you're now in a bigger pond. And you have to grow into the space that you have. But people can also psychologically shrink. Growth is always uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. If it's not uncomfortable, you're really not growing, because in and of itself, growth is uncomfortable.
That's fair.
And sometimes, we're not psychologically, emotionally ready to deal with that growth, so we kind of shelter ourselves. But by doing so, we rob ourselves of the possibilities that growth can open the doors for. Yesterday? It was yesterday. Our daughter wanted to, it's a simple thing. She wanted to get change she had a $50 bill, she wanted change. And she's like, how do I do that? Like, well, okay, it's simple. We'll go to the store, and you go to the customer service desk, and you ask them to break a 50. Just tell them, I got a 50, I get 5 10s? And she was freaking out about it, which is just weird. It's like, why are you anxious? Their job is to help you. You're a customer. You're asking for something completely reasonable.
She's never done it.
Well, yes, but it was, her world was, we homeschooled. Okay. So it's not like she had, hold on.
Start that way.
No. We homeschooled, and we had, we took her to homeschool groups. So there was an expanded circle of people. But it wasn't the hundreds of people that are in a public school. But at the same time, she was well educated. So, there's a balance there. And we took her to church, and there was that circle of people. So there was association and socializing. But since she got out of school, her world shrunk.
Yeah.
And in the process,
coworkers.
She had a handful of coworkers, 5 or 6 people that she was dealing with. And her capacity to deal with people shrunk to that 5 or 6 people. And us. And barely her sister. But that's a sibling thing, I think, more than anything else.
I just don't like that you started that with the, we homeschooled. I don't think that, but I get what your point was.
Well, it was, that is the one thing I will give to public school is you have to learn how to interact with a large amount of varying people.
Sure, but she still went to the association. There was classes.
Oh, sure, yes. And that's why I made sure I pointed that out.
She was in a classroom environment.
Yes. And that's why I said that. But she didn't have that. The problem with having that is schools are so overloaded with students that teachers can't, great teachers out there, but if a teacher spends 1 minute with every student and they have a 45-minute class, that means every student gets a whole minute of personalized attention. That's not, it's like, I'd love to help you, but we're 59 seconds in, I got to move on. You just don't get that. I think that is the downfall of our public education system in a nutshell. That's a side thing. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think that's even close.
No, it's to a degree.
But anyway.
We let her world shrink a little bit. So I made a point of, Now, you had a good point. It's like, just go buy something and get change.
Yes.
Here's a 50, give me change. And I was like, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to tell her that. Because she needs to go over there and talk to that person. She's uncomfortable. And there's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable in that regard. You know, it's not rational to be anxious in that.
Let me back up. I was not aware of her anxiety when you said that you were going to stop somewhere to do that. Mm-hmm. I just felt that going, since she wanted some items from the store anyway, other than going clear across town to a credit union, that she could stop at the store.
Yeah.
And get
and
buy her things and get her change.
And I was thinking along the same lines.
So I was not aware of this anxiety issue.
She was talking about being anxious about interacting with people in that regard, and it's like, okay. And that's when I was like, okay, that's no longer on the table. Now you have to. And I kind of had that talk with her. It's like, look, you can't. Anxiety is always going to be around. I mean, there's things that I get anxious about all the freaking time. And if you dumb anxiety down, it's fear. It's just fear. You're afraid. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. There's a really old dumb movie. It's like you feel cold, you feel hungry, you feel tired, you feel afraid. It's just a feeling. It's like it doesn't control you, and having that feeling doesn't hurt you. Now choose what you do with it. And so I made a point. It's like, you know what? You can't let this little anxiety win, because every time you let anxiety win a fight, it gets stronger and you get weaker. And I can point to people around us that's like, this person let anxiety win, and now they're completely hamstrung because they're anxious about everything. They're fearful of everything, and they can't live their life. It's detrimental to their situation because they let the anxiety win. And the only way you can beat that is by not letting it win the next time. But you've let it win so often that it's almost feels impossible to break that cycle. But it starts with the little things, like going and talking to the lady behind the cash register and getting change for a 50. It's like, just go beat that one. Go win that one. There you go. Now you're a step ahead. Anxiety didn't beat you. You can feel anxious all you want. It's okay. But you can't let it win. Anxiety, fear is a great, it's radar, it's saying, hey, for some reason, I feel like there's potential harm here. That's a good thing to have. That's a great thing. But sometimes the sensitivity can get turned up way too high. And you start seeing things as potential harm where there isn't any. Like talking to somebody about getting change. It's like there's no harm there. The potential for harm is almost zero. It's never really zero, but it's almost zero. So I made her step into a bigger tank so that she had the opportunity to grow a little bit. And I think more about the inverse of that. It's like my world shrunk and now I got to live with it. Got to figure out how to live with it. It's like, no, you know what you need to do? You need to step out of your tank and get into a bigger tank. Even if it's a slightly bigger tank. Get out of your comfort zone. Find that place that makes you a little bit anxious. And not let the anxiety win and grow a little bit. It's actually, it kind of made me think of, there's an adjacent family member. For me, it's an in-law. It's the sibling of an in-law of an in-law. And their drug use has made it so their pain tolerance is non-existent. They have deadened themselves to pain through chemical means for so long, any physical discomfort is it's like completely immobilizing. They can't handle it. It's like they chemically shrunk their world so much that they were disassociated in their own body from their own feelings. So now that anytime that they have to deal with it, it's overwhelming. It's like it's the extreme example of shrinking your world, and then your world shrinking, and then you shrinking with it. And, massively hamstrung life. Lost potential. Too many freaking times we let our, bad things in life are going to happen. And there's too many ways for bad things in life to happen to even start a list. And every time something bad happens, you kind of want to recoil and shelter behind a wall. You build another wall, which shrinks your world a little bit. At some point, your world gets so small that it squeezes the life out of you. It's like you're living in a prison of your own making.
Yes. Which that really skyrocketed with COVID, which...
Oh, it really did.
I know we mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it in my own family members, unfortunately.
Seen it in a lot of people. I've seen a number of people. They're still very handicapped by the way that
really
their
mental
world changed.
Illness in general. This could define mental illness. This idea that it's you could stay in your room and not have to experience difficult things like this. I just found out that if I stay in my room all the time, my life will eventually shrink to the size of it, and I will lose all memory of how to function as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way this is worded, this was shocked and upset at the end of it. Really, you didn't think that if your world, if you never expose yourself to anything, that won't have an effect on you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
it's just a weird prompt.
It is. Well, it's like I said, it wasn't so much what was I exactly said. It was the thoughts I had in response to it. Which any students out there, it's a great way to take notes. Isn't necessarily the words that you're hearing, but your reaction to the words. Write those down because it helps both stick in your memory better. For certain personality types, it's not a trick for everybody, but it can be a very beneficial tool. Learned that in high school too. Never actually didn't use it much. My memory was much better back then. I didn't have to, but it's neither here nor there. But see, I kind of focus on the inverse of that. It's my world is not particularly large.
No, not as big as it used to be.
No, certain aspects of your life. Well, kind of going back to the sports team thing. That it's you've got your family. It's your main house. That's your space. That's your family. Those people, interacting with them, and then you put an addition on, and that's school. And then you put a little addition off the addition, and that's your sports team. That you're playing on. And when that door closes, your world shrinks back down a little bit. And then at some point, you're no longer living with your family and get your own space, and your place gets, you're effectively just staying in your room. If you don't step out of that, eventually you learn how you get to a point where you physically can't step out of that room. I want to phrase it correctly or adequately. But the ability to combat general anxiety with dealing with people or dealing with life situations outside of your own little bubble. They're muscles, they're skills that need to be exercised.
Yeah.
And if you don't exercise them, they atrophy. It doesn't matter how active you were 5 years ago if you haven't gotten out of your chair since then. Getting out of that chair is going to be hard.
That's true.
You might have been able to throw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball 5 years ago. But since you haven't moved your arm in 5 years, you might have difficulty picking up the ball. So to me, it's almost it's an admonition to not let yourself get stagnant in where you're at.
That's very easy to do.
Which is very easy to do because, you get comfortable in your space. And at some point, your tank doesn't need to get bigger. You've got you got your family, you've got a good support system of friends, you've got your job and your coworkers and your community. You've got a decent sized tank and you grow to be able to handle that tank. There isn't a whole lot of need to go beyond that. But I think at the same time, when given the opportunity, you should always try and add onto your tank. There's those opportunities sometimes drop off. Like many, many years ago, like 19 years ago now. 19 years ago and change. When I had the opportunity to go to China and Mongolia. That was definitely jumping out of my tank. Mm-hmm. Had almost no clue what was going to happen. I mean, I had a very base idea. Actually, all of us had a very base idea. We were going to do this. This is the only part we know definitively. We're gonna carry this stuff around and okay, cool. All right. What about everything else? No clue. We'll have to figure it out. That definitely, I was like, I hopped out of my tank into somebody else's tank and I had no idea, Like my tank is nice and comfortable and I got my little castle and I got my other little fish in there with me and everything's great. And now I'm in a much bigger tank where it's shaped weird and the water tastes funny and
good analogies.
But because I jumped into that tank, when I came back, I was able to bring some of that with me, and and enrich the tank that I was living in. Hopefully, hopefully I touched that tank, and that tank touched me.
I would like to think so.
And I mean, I think it's a great metaphor for growth. And I've done that. I think I've mentioned this one before, but the great philosophical movie of Tommy Boy.
Yeah, you mentioned Tommy Boy.
You're either growing or dying. There is no third direction. And if you let your personal space shrink, that's death. I mean, that's slow death. Metaphorically speaking. But your world is shrinking, and you're shrinking with it. There's way too much world out there. Way too much world out there. There's way more people out there than you've ever possibly met. There's more things to do than you can possibly imagine. There's more things to see than you can fit into your lifetime. And if you let your world shrink to the point where you don't even realize it's out there, you're cheating yourself and everybody else in the world that would benefit from your presence in it.
I think it's part of what and it's not so much when we talk about the life we used to have, and it was more social to a degree. To a degree.
There were a handful of more people.
Different circles than now.
Yes.
And let's delineate this for a second. When you talk about like staying in the circle with the room, like for instance, if we're going to take the room and circle analogies and
sure.
cross them over, like we had a certain amount of people in our circle, in our room, right? And we were good with that.
Yes.
And that meant that just certain mindsets were always there and certain practices and whatnot. And as I was just talking with our youngest today, a friend of hers that just to find out that like basically she'd just been vaping and just doing stupid stuff, just some stupid stuff. And it's like, why? right? It's because of the people she was hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what our daughter was saying. Like, it's because of the people she was hanging around. Because the person our daughter knew wasn't like that, but she knew that there was that tendency.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how old we are, right, we're going to react to situations and like the people in our circle. We're going to almost chameleon in a way.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, not that we lose who we are, but like you've said before, you're going to show more interest in
Mm-hmm.
like sports if somebody's interested in sports.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Well, and there's there's a line between allowing a small aspect of yourself to be more dominant. You know, like, I don't have a lot of interest in sports outside of other people's interest in sports. But if they're really into it, I let that blossom. I let it come out. And there's a difference between that and just being massively inauthentic. Let me put it that way. Mm-hmm. So if you don't even know who you are, you just kind of become whoever everybody else is. And I think to a point when you're growing up, that's a good thing because you can discover who you are. It's like, yeah, I don't like it when I'm doing this. So you kind of can chip that chunk off.
Well, but part of my point was...
But, yeah, sorry.
Like when there's illegal activities
mm-hmm.
or just asinine activities, then no matter how old you are, like, okay, well, there should be lines.
Yes.
There should be lines in what that you
mm-hmm.
draw. And
yeah, the problem is if you don't even know who you are, you don't even know what lines are there.
Yeah, the younger.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that because we know grown adults that don't know who they are either.
Well, yeah.
But
yeah, there's a lot of that actually. But
this idea that, if you never leave a circle, if you never leave a room, it's going to shrink, right?
mm-hmm.
Like your world will shrink. It will only be the space in which you exist.
And you'll only keep the skills necessary to exist in that space. The skills for existing outside of that space kind of atrophy because you don't use them.
I mean, that I talk with people every day that they will struggle for one reason or another because of the space they are in or wanting to break out of it or because of the tank that bumped up to them, to use your mm-hmm. analogy. But as one thing that resonated listening to her today when you're talking about it, you got to choose. And it's okay to, the younger you are, to choose, what line you aren't going to cross, what people you don't want to mm-hmm. associate with, and why. You shouldn't just interact with people for the sake of having a bigger circle to get out of that room. And, you kind of keep mixing and matching the metaphor there.
Yeah.
But
I think people follow.
It's not an easy choice sometimes.
No.
For the sake of then, that you would feel isolated or alone because mm-hmm. you might be forsaking then some of those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not healthy. In the end, they're not healthy, but it's also not healthy just to isolate yourself and stay alone.
There is some balance in there. You should never become less just so you can hang around with other people.
That is something I think we've instilled in our children, and they're getting it.
There are lines.
I had a conversation today about it. So
there are lines that boundaries are healthy. Mm-hmm. Especially if you understand them and you set them. They're not somebody else's. You need to set your own.
Absolutely.
Like growing up, I was friends and hung out with the smokers, the stoners, the drunks, you name it. I hung out with them. But they also knew, it's like there was usually hey, you want something? Nope, dude, I don't do that. Oh, okay, cool. You sure? Yep, I'm good. And then every now and again, you still off? Yep, nope, not for me. We'll still hang out. We can still have a good time, but that's my line. I'm not crossing.
That's still my line.
Yeah, that's still my line.
That's still my line. In fact, I don't drink at all. I mean, at all.
Well, the whole one kidney thing, it kind of puts a hamper on things,
even the occasional drink that I would have.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Yeah, so.
Well, even yeah.
So we were talking about we're supposed to have a family gathering in a few weeks.
Yep.
my family. And from what I'm understanding, there's certain members that won't be coming for whatever their reasons are. It basically comes down to their own choice of self-isolation.
Yeah,
They are being incredibly picky and choosy on what they will and won't do. And I don't mean like who they won't be around. I mean like when or for what reason they leave their home.
Mm-hmm. Their room shrunk.
They would fit the definition of what you're saying here.
Yeah, their room shrunk to the size of a small bathroom.
Very particular.
Yeah.
And it had crossed my mind that we maybe talk about paying, because it was our number one. It was our choice where it was going to be.
Yep.
Right. And we're going to take a couple people there, but whether or not these people come or not, like whatever.
Yeah.
If they do, that's great. I would still be willing to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not going to try to advertise it in a way to try to entice them to come.
Nope.
Because they are opportunistic, and that is the kind of people that they are.
Yeah.
So for me, I thought I'm not going to invite that reason to be upset.
No.
Because I will happily pay for the recently laid off from his job.
Yes.
Family
not a problem.
member.
I
will happily pay for the other family member that is struggling to get a job.
Yeah, there's
a whole reason.
There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in there. It's like, and
I will happily do that.
Well, and here, and
but
there's a part of me that
if they wanted to drink,
no, that's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah,
that's kind of my point of saying that.
Yeah.
Like that's on them.
Yeah, that's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah.
There is the line, right?
Yes.
And these are family members that are working to try to overcome their own stigma and issues, and
they're
working on it.
Yeah, and
for various reasons.
I mean, everybody's got stuff. Anybody that tells you they don't have stuff, they're either actively lying to you or they're ignorant of their own situation. Everybody's got stuff.
That's fair.
And that's not being
recognize your stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize their own stuff. There's the idea that what you grew up in is normal to you, and it doesn't matter how dysfunctional or abnormal it was. That's your normal. The fish doesn't know he's wet. So you grow up, or your life has been structured around in a certain way. You don't realize that it's a complete mess until you see that there's another way. And then when you do, how do you get out of it? This is kind of like this. It's like your world has been this particular room, and you have the skills necessary to live in that room. You don't have any of this. Any skills that you had to operate outside of that room have atrophied to the point where you can't use them. Okay, now what? It's like how do I get out of this room? It's like I don't have the skills or the knowledge or the strength to do that. How do I do that? Now that's a good question, and I think that's kind of where some of the people we're referring to, or that's the situation they're in right now. It's like how do I make that next step? And hopefully, if we can help,
you want to take the next step.
You kind of do, and sometimes you got to get to a point where you don't have the option, where you kind of got to get kicked out of your own room. Like sometimes you got to get pulled out of it. Sometimes the floor has to collapse and drop you out of it.
And I can understand the feeling of wanting to be in your own room on your own island.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
I like my space.
I even
it's
returned
comfortable.
a couple times.
I built it. That's how I like it. I get that, and
that's how it felt.
Yeah, and I don't. There's an idea of you should never let yourself get comfortable. You should learn to be content with what you have, but you should never be comfortable with it. So when you're comfortable, you stop trying.
Fair.
You can learn to be appreciative and happy with, it's like, yeah, do I have the car I want? Do I live in the neighborhood I want? Do I have the whatever is it the clothes or the food or the whatever it happens to be for you? I don't have that. And you can let you be yourself be miserable, or you can be great. Look at what you've got. It's like, I have a house that's coolish in the summer and warm in the winter, and when it rains, I stay dry. And I have a safe place to sleep, and I have a car that gets me where I need to go. I got food in the fridge. I can be content. I can be happy and thankful for what I've got. But when you get comfortable, you stop moving. You stop trying to make improvements. So you can simultaneously be happy with what you have, be content with what you have, and still be pushing for that next thing. Everybody needs to have a goal. This is a complete side note that I think that we should probably end with.
Yeah, sure.
People think happy is the goal. Happy is not the goal. Happy is the result. Sometimes of achieving a goal, sometimes of perfecting a situation. Happy is the effect, not the affect. Happy is the result. And the harder you try to achieve happy, the less likely you are to achieve it.
That's fair for the context. Yeah.
We took an Eastern religions class together many years ago, and one of the concept of Zen. To reach a state of true Zen, you had to give up the desire to reach a state of Zen. Because the desire to reach Zen, desire is counterproductive to the state of Zen. So you had to give up the desire to get there in order to achieve it.
Yeah, kind of one of those backwards things, yeah.
Yeah, well, happy's the same way. If you
gotta die to live in Christianity.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Happy's it's like the harder you go after happy, the less happy you're going to be. So stop chasing happy and start chasing something of purpose. And when you achieve that purpose, you work towards that purpose, taking care of people, taking care of your family, becoming a benefit to others, helping the hungry, you'll find that you're happy when you stop pursuing it and start benefiting the world. Just saying. You'll be much better off for it, and so will the world around you.
Understandable.
And in order to do that, you got to open the door to your room and step outside. And
more than putting in windows.
Yeah, more than putting in windows, you got to step out of that room. And sometimes you got to start by just opening the door and crawling into the hallway and figuring out how to survive in the hallway. And then you figure out how to get down the hallway.
Just one step at a time.
It's one step at a time, and start with something small. Because, that room shrunk a little bit at a time. The way you make it grow is a little bit at a time.
And for whoever made that post, my goodness, I hope you have survived this far.
I most certainly hope so. I haven't searched for him. I try not to do too much follow-up. And simply because it's like I'm an opinionated guy, and I don't agree with a lot of people on a lot of things, and that's okay. I just take, this is a statement with no context other than this statement, and this is how I'm taking it. The other 99.9999% of everything that they do, I could completely disagree with. I'm not giving a tacit endorsement of anything other than this statement right here in this context. This is what we're talking about. That's all.
That's it.
Yep. So.
With that.
Anyway. With all that being said.
Oh,
the randomness and random trails, rabbit trails and tangents and.
Not the most put together, but that's fine.
No, it was a little.
Well, you had my head somewhere else, so I think I did my best.
It was
It's fine.
It was. It wasn't
One of
quite.
those days.
It wasn't quite train wreck, but it was a little skating rink with toddlers.
That's the best way to put it. We achieved the objective. That's what we were going for.
We technically kept it on track, which is the most important way.
Yeah, we did it. We did it. Okay.
Anyway.
Soy Dora.
Okay. With all of that, I'm Fix It.
I'm Feel It.
We hope you join us in the future.
Until next week.
Y'all have a great one.